Good morning, guys. It's Saturday, the 18th of September. Um, I'm going to use this one as a little bit of a different video. I've obviously done a lot of education over the years, and the one thing I feel at the moment is Bitcoin is ultimately kind of sitting sideways for me personally. I'm waiting for some confirmation of either the bigger move back down or ultimately the break of the all-time high before the major move down. So I think for me, it's just a question of, kind of sitting on my hands, just waiting and seeing where we are. I've covered this in the last couple of streams, and it's very difficult to kind of keep covering a move that is kind of doing the same thing. There's no clear direction, kind of one way or the other just yet. So I wanted to take this time just to share a little bit more information with you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off on this now. You've probably seen in a lot of my TradingView posts, I actually do a lot of drawings. So you can see on the back of this, I'm using the polyline tool quite a lot to build images like this. Now, this particular image is for another post that I'm about to do, covering some NFT type stuff. I've recently got into NFTs myself and kind of playing around with it, kind of understanding the gas fees and the kind of the how. So again, I've actually covered this in a video. I'll put this up now in terms of clicking the link above, and you'll be able to see the how-to video on some NFTs. So like I said, I wanted to take this time to kind of play around with some more educational content, if I'm honest. And what I wanted to do was just highlight, maybe if you're new to following me or haven't seen some of the other work, then it's probably worth having a bit of explore kind of my profile, especially in TradingView. So first things first, last night I've just received another editor's pick for the dark pool kind of information. Now, this is quite fascinating in its own right, especially that what we teach within our Discord server is to do with composite man and how the big institutional traders and investors kind of play the game. Now, on the back of that, what I wanted to do was to cover a little bit of info kind of one by one. But if we go back to, I guess, kind of Wyckoff, which is where we kicked off the Mayfair method Discord server, this was showing why I was calling the top back in March for the Bitcoin at around 62,000 at the time. And the general idea was to break it down using Fibonacci extensions to a certain level. Again, something that we teach within Discord. And then using this kind of characteristic. So where I'd actually posted, assuming that the UT was giving me the move, I didn't think the UTAD would kind of go up quite as high as it did before we dropped down. So again, if you're kind of not familiar with Wyckoff, it's probably worth coming to have a little look at this. And I'll put these links into the description below on things like Wyckoff. So a lot of educational content in here, all free within TradingView. Um, and that obviously is something I just wanted to highlight and to share, for this particular video. Then another one, again, another editor's pick, but this particular one, I really like this one. I really enjoyed working on this one. So again, drawing the characters, I've used Homer and The Simpsons as a kind of way to show some of the psychology and the analogy as to where we are within these cycles, within these moves. Bull runs have to have pullbacks, and I think that's what many new traders kind of fail to realize. So like I said, I just wanted to highlight some of these things. And like I said, I'll put the links below into this. But if you look through the profile, what I've also done in the last couple of months, I've tried to correlate a lot of this information and breaking down things like this. So again, this particular post was actually showing a lot of the educational topics kind of in one place. So psychology covering first, into some books worth reading, how to assess an altcoin. I know this is something many people struggle with, going beyond the chart ultimately. Um, this one, buying the dips, just a little bit of information of how you can make this a little bit easier in terms of understanding where to get in, why to get in, what indicators you could potentially utilize as well. I've gone to the very basics in some instances, things like trend lines and moving averages, um, kind of deeper into how to utilize multiple time frames when selecting or trading the chart. Other indicators like the MACD. Um, I've spoken about too many indicators and overloading the chart. What kind of data is this actually representing? What is this giving you as a whole? And I think these are all key important topics. So if you come into this particular post, you'll actually see, and I'll just click on this one as the example, you'll actually see that I've written an individual article. If you just click on the image, you'll actually see the individual article based on this, as a whole. So I'll just wait for this to load up a second. Yeah, so you'll see, as I've just said, you'll see an individual article on this. It's trying to get you to realize what it is you're seeing, what kind of data you're seeing. And the reality is, a lot of people will put 3 or 4 of the same type of indicators on the chart and kind of confuse themselves out of good trades. They'll kind of push themselves into bad trades on the assumption that, one thing is lined up or 3 things are lined up. And I'm a fan of stripping things back. And this is why I put the emphasis on this kind of free education. I really want to get people to a level that when they come to us, they've actually got a decent understanding to kind of accelerate themselves and to grow kind of with the group rather than this just being kind of ideas and concepts. So like I said, this particular post has gone everything from GAN fans to Elliott. They've gone a little bit deeper into Elliott. I've talked a little bit about the composite man, how Wyckoff and the structures work. So again, every single one here, every image is actually an individual article within this. So you can see there's a lot of free content, down here. Then the next one, this is kind of more recent ones, I believe. Oh no, actually this is the older one. So the last one was the more recent ones. And again, some of this I've covered the same things in terms of the psychology. So a few different ones kind of down lower down here, but the general idea is the same. It was kind of everything in one place, and click on the links and you'll see, kind of where it is and what we're trying to teach. So ones that I haven't included yet, obviously this one from last night being the dark pools. It's worth a read if you haven't seen it. I've put the sailors average and a little bit of intel in terms of why this has kind of done what it's done. I actually had this post flagged, if you would believe it. They come back and said this isn't education, so I just wanted to emphasize, I'm not going to put any more education topics in terms of TradingView anymore. So every post I now do, education or not, I'm just going to leave blank as an analysis and let them make their own mind up. So I think that was interesting. What else have we got? Yeah, obviously the last couple of YouTube videos, which again I'll put another link up now in the corner, of some of the logic around Bitcoin and the moves and the last 2 or 3 elements that I've seen. Um, this one's had quite a lot of traction. This one's been quite interesting. So in this, I've covered a lot of the kind of patterns, the formations and the structural patterns. So again, worth a little look, and I'll put this one in the link as well. Some candlestick formations, some information on formations, and obviously how to use them, as well as some divergence and a little bit of a cheat sheet. So you could probably save these images onto your desktop or whatever you want to do. So I know this one is not really an analysis of any sort or any kind this morning, and I just wanted to highlight there's a lot of free information, and I've spent the time to go through this in terms of everything from how the Dow theory fits and how Wyckoff, Elliott, and Fibonacci kind of connect into all of this. These are things that we teach in depth in terms of our server. But I think for me, the idea of putting this onto TradingView and getting people to kind of think for themselves was more value overall than to actually get them coming to us with simplistic questions. And therefore I just wanted to highlight this in the time that Bitcoin is doing pretty much nothing at the moment. So keep your eyes peeled. We've got another post coming out potentially today. If not, it'll be on Monday, in terms of this one, and I'm looking forward to that. So enjoy the weekend. I'm going to keep this one kind of short and sweet, and we'll speak to you guys pretty soon in the next stream.